Ain't no way, ain't no how. I'ma let somebody come and shut me down. Hold my own, I'ma stand my ground. I'ma rep my city and salute my town. Said ain't no way, ain't no how. I'ma let somebody come and shut me down. I'ma hold my own, I'ma stand my ground. And I'm ready for whatever, and I still stand proud. Ain't no.
Let me in. Let me in. Let me in. You know, I'm not sure if anybody's gonna let Bray Wyatt in. A lot's been oh gosh. A lot's been happening with Bray Wyatt. If you didn't know, this is my lantern too. I'm holding up my imaginary lantern. So go ahead. Everybody get ready for this episode. Hold up your flashlights, and because we are gonna take a deep dive into Bray Wyatt. Lately Bray Wyatt lately has not been on the same page with people, apparently, or he's injured or something else. We don't know. Either way, we're going to kind of look at all the scenarios, look at what that means, and look at if there is any hope for Bray Wyatt's gimmick anymore. But this is the B&B show, as always. Professor Bear and Blade, thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment, tell us what you want to do in the future, all that good stuff. And let's get right into it. Bray Wyatt's gimmick is it's good, but it's not. They're what's a way to put it? It's good, but it's not
lazy.
It's not on the right path. It's not correct. Like it's a good gimmick. Okay, it's good. I enjoy it. I enjoy the Uncle Howdy thing, but it is just like it's all over the place. It looks like creative people that it's like the guy who was producing SmackDown or something said, "All right, creative, go ahead and give me your notes for what you want Bray Wyatt to do." And none of them talked. None of the creative people talked to each other. They just put notes down and they put it on his desk. So it's a bunch of different things. And so that's the guy who produces it was like, okay, I guess we'll just do all of it and just do it together. Because that's what it looks like is happening. So let's start from the beginning, Bear. Bray Wyatt returned at Extreme Rules. Good return, yes or no?
Great return. You can't deny the lead up to it. It was a lot of guessing. It was theatrical. It made people tune in when we really didn't want to. We started thinking we were being detectives. Everything that popped up, we saw, we noticed. Oh, this means this. He could be this. This could be this. And for me, I think that is one thing for us wrestling fans. When we do not know, when we're guessing, you're putting our imaginations to use. That is some of our best loves in wrestling. When we know something's going to happen, it's okay. It's all right. But when we don't know, when we get fooled because, hey, we're wrestling fans, we want to know. We think we're smarter than the average fan. We're smarter. We got a podcast. Of course, we know everything. Then it doesn't happen. It's like, oh, snap. So that's what we love. So the execution of bringing him back was perfect.
Phenomenal. And the reason it's phenomenal is that was a time everybody knows this. I hate social media, okay? And Twitter is the absolute worst of it all. But that stuff made me actually get on Twitter because I wanted to see what other people were finding out. And whenever I would get on Twitter, literally just the hashtag White Rabbit or Bray Wyatt would be trending worldwide. And it's like, hell, I mean, that's insane. And all these different theories. And there was times where you would see me in the living room going like this to my TV, trying to get the QR code.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm sitting back down in my head. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I'm over here sitting there, but I enjoyed it, you know? I enjoyed trying to do it because it's like, oh, I want to know what I find. And I wanted to be like the first guy to find it, even though there's millions of people doing it too.
Exactly.
And when all the little clues, it was awesome. It was perfectly executed. And everybody's like, oh, Extreme Rules this. It's going to be Extreme Rules. And I thought it was Extreme Rules. A lot of people didn't think he was going to come back. I didn't know. I was hoping he would come back at Extreme Rules. And when Extreme Rules, the main event ended, and I was standing up. I was like, all right, nothing's happening. And all of a sudden, you see the trademark come out the bottom right. I got so upset, man. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And I sat back down on the couch, and I felt in such defeat. And all of a sudden, the lights go off. Michael Cole goes, what was that? And I jumped right back off my couch. I don't get fooled a lot like that. That was one of the biggest fools they hit me hard because I did not see that coming. And when they hit me with the trademark, I thought it was over. I was like, wow, we're actually going to have to wait even longer for this damn return. And all of a sudden, when the return happened, it was like a good 5, 6, 7 minutes of, you showed the crowd, then they showed the little puppets, and then they showed the Fiend mask, and they showed the bird and all this other stuff, and then they showed the door, and then he came out with the lantern, and he goes, I'm here, and he blows the candle out, and it ended. Oh my gosh, just perfectly executed. You can't get better than that. That was one of the perfect return. That was one of the greatest returns ever. It was perfect. They did everything perfect. They got everybody fooled. The way it was led up, it was awesome. And everything after that just kind of went. And that's what's so upsetting about this topic is the return was so good. The superstar himself is so good. The last couple gimmicks he had, the Fiend, was so good. And so you had such high expectations, and it's like, what is going on? What is happening? Why? The first couple times he came back out, people were so invested in the story because it's like,
oh my God,
what's wrong with him? Why is he talking like this? And when you first saw Uncle Howdy, what's going on? Who is that? And then when you saw him physically come out, you're like, dude, that's physically not Bray Wyatt. That's actually somebody else. And then all of a sudden it was rumored that it was Bo Dallas. What? Bo Dallas? And then he started feuding with LA Knight. Awesome feud. It was good. Some people were starting to fall off a little bit because they were getting a little impatient. A lot of people though were still staying on.
Oh yeah.
And then they finally announced the match for Royal Rumble, the lights out match. Okay, lights out. That's awesome. It probably means lights out. Whatever. This gimmick's still cool. We finally got a match going on. We can't wait to see him in the ring. The match hits, and I felt like that's where everything really took a turn for like the worst. Because right up until that point, some people were impatient, yes. But a lot of people were still heavy on the gimmick, heavy on the story. They wanted to know who was Uncle Howdy. And a lot of people, including myself, thought he would be revealed at the Royal Rumble. Instead, the match was not good. The ending was a disaster. The match was like 5 minutes. LA Knight should have not been destroyed like that. I didn't like the neon stuff, and then the ending where Uncle Howdy not only was not revealed, but he completely missed LA Knight, and the camera guy got all of it. That was a disaster. And then after that, even I will admit, I started to get a little impatient. Because it's like, okay, you've been back since October. The story has been really coming out since beginning November. What the hell?
Give us something. Give us something new besides you coming out and talking about Uncle Howdy. Because it seems like every Friday night you come out, Uncle Howdy interrupts you, or he comes out and Sister Abigail's you. And then they started teasing Alexa Bliss coming back, and that was I'm not a fan of that. And then Alexa Bliss, took her time off, and we support her for that. So I think that kind of went away. But after the whole LA Knight feud kind of ended, he went after Bobby Lashley. Okay, what?
It's gonna set up a Bobby Lashley Bray Wyatt.
Well, then it was like Bobby or Brock, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
It was no explanation.
Yep.
It was just out of the blue. We still don't know who Uncle Howdy is. Yeah. We don't know what your whole purpose is. Why?
Yeah,
What?
and that's the thing with this story. It's like I feel like they just pushed it out way too long. It was pushed out way too long. They went with the wrong people to go after. There was no explanation, like you said, for Brock or Bobby, and that's not even the ending of it. We're gonna get to the current time right now. After he goes after Bobby Lashley for some odd reason, boom, he disappears, and all of a sudden you get the rumors online. Bray Wyatt, not here, not showing up on SmackDown, injured, creative dispute,
Sick.
sick, something, something, something. And people are wondering why. And a lot of people were like, oh, well, he doesn't fight. Well, that's okay. We could say this right now. Bray Wyatt does fight. Ever since he's been back on pay-per-view or like on national TV, he's had one match. Live shows, he has probably had around 10 or more, and they've all been against LA Knight, and he's beat LA Knight every time. So not only props to LA Knight for doing that, but he's been fighting. And he's actually had that picture of like his finger that got messed up that went around. So he has been injured. So that is still a possibility. He still actually could be injured right now. Nobody really knows. But all we know is he is not here, and the match with Bray Wyatt and Bobby Lashley may not happen. So for anybody watching this, more than likely you're watching this after WrestleMania now. This was recorded before WrestleMania. So if you're watching this after WrestleMania and something does change, there you go. But this is recorded about a week before WrestleMania. So, bear with us with that. I've just got to throw that out there before we get all the comments saying, "Oh, what about this?" No, well, hold on a second.
Because we can't see in the future, but but we're trying.
We're not that smart yet. We're getting there.
We're working on my time machine. I've been working on lately, so
exactly. But what we do know as of now is other reports, though, which I'm kind of leaning more towards, is there is something with creative issues in the back. As we know, Vince McMahon is back at the company, and it seems like he's getting more and more control. Small little bits of control every week goes by. Seems like he's getting more and more control. The reason Bray Wyatt left, Vince McMahon. They had problems. He was released. So apparently there's some creative disputes. We don't know if that is the reason, if it's not an injury, if he's not sick, and that is the reason. We don't know if Bray Wyatt started. We don't know anything. What we do know is longtime WWE writer Nick Manfredini. I'm sorry if I got that name wrong. I'm not good with names. Who has been with WWE for I believe
13 years.
13 years. He is very close with Bray Wyatt. He's one of the guys who created the Firefly Funhouse. He created the Fiend. He did all the gimmicks for him. He was there for his return. He's helped him with this gimmick. He is no longer with the company. We don't know if he was released. We don't know if he left by himself. Being with the company 13 years and you're working with somebody who is big right now, I can't see you just leaving like that. I see you being fired more than leaving. Like I said, we don't know. That's all up in the air. But there have been rumors that the match is still going to happen. Well, Monday Night Raw, like I said, this is before WrestleMania. We were on the second to last Monday Night Raw just happened. Bobby Lashley is still not on TV. We'll see if Bray Wyatt shows up on SmackDown. If he doesn't, other rumors are saying that this match is officially off. It is nixed. It's not going to happen. If that happens, I feel bad for Bobby Lashley. This is the problem with this. Bobby Lashley is being affected by this storyline as well. Because Bobby Lashley not only is not probably going to be at WrestleMania, he hasn't been on TV. He has been on every Monday Night Raw, it seems like, for the past year and a half or so. So this is not only hurting Bray, this is hurting Lashley. And I'll let you go, Bear, but really the main thing is something's got to change with this. Something's got to happen soon.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna start with the Bobby situation real quick. Just quick tidbit on it. Feel bad for him. He's been a top player last few years, and you need him there. And quick, hey, throw him in the match with Omos and Lesnar. I would be cool with that. But besides this, let's get back on topic. And the topic is Bray Wyatt. A lot of people don't understand Bray's background. Bray has a legendary family ties. He is the great grandson of, oh Jesus, me and my blanking out. I apologize, but his uncle is Barry Windham.
Barry Windham, yep.
His father is IRS Rick Rotundo, Mike Rotundo. I'm sorry. His brother is Bo Dallas. He has a big family legacy that comes with being thoughts, knowing the wrestling business, knowing how to project the old school feel and different mystical type gimmicks.
Yep.
And with me saying all that, he's very creative and he's passionate about the things he comes up with. If you don't understand his passion creatively, then you let him guide you so it can succeed. Because you can go back to the cult leader Wyatt. You can go back to the Fiend. It catches on and it takes people time to get it. But as soon as we get it, we enjoy it. And it seems like every time we get in and start enjoying it, they come in and want to put their input in and destroys the gimmick. I mean, I think back when The Fiend and Seth Hell in the Cell, that was so criminally bad, dumb, just ignorant. Then I think back to WrestleMania with him and Randy Orton.
Oh, with the bugs.
Yeah, no. I can even the bugs was stupid, but I could have dealt with that even better than the last match. The Fiend,
the ending with the Alexa Bliss and
God, it made no sense. Why all this time he's been losing, and then he comes back for Bliss to turn on him? It didn't make sense. It made no sense, and you constantly continue to let him do his creative things to get somewhere, and then y'all take over and destroy it. As a wrestling fan, I don't understand. If you don't want him to get over, then don't allow him to do his thing. Take him off TV, fire him. But you say you want him to get over, but every time he starts having popularity and doing something, y'all put y'all hands in it, and so if I guess if I was in his situation, where that would just be like this podcast. Like, we talk about different things, we go back and forth, we agree to talk about certain subject and stuff. We have conversations. But if it went like, I'd be like, hey, let's do this. And you like, nah, why not? I don't get it. Okay, you don't get it, let me explain it to you. Nah, don't worry about it. We can do it. And as soon as I come on and start talking about it, you just go right. Like, no, we're talking about classic wrestling. No, we're going to talk about the modern wrestling. That's not what we discuss. It kills your credibility. It kills the vibe of us. And that's what, I don't know if WWE cares, if there's what the issue is, but it's having a bad effect on us as fans and the trust of your product.
Yeah. Long story short, something's got to change. Um, More than likely, I, I don't. This match probably won't happen at WrestleMania. It just seems like nothing's working together in the some minds aren't working together in the back. Or he actually is sick or injured. Like I said, we don't know, but it seems like this match won't happen, and it's upsetting for Bobby Lashley, but also Bray Wyatt, because I'm a big fan of Bray Wyatt. I think he does a lot of good stuff. I think him, like you said, creatively, coming from that family, like with like Blackjack Mulligan.
Mulligan, thank you.
Yeah, Blackjack Mulligan, Barry Windham, and Bo Dallas, all those guys. I mean, they're all creative, in their own ways, and Bray Wyatt's no different. And he's proved that with all of his his characters and his gimmicks that he's done. And it would just the biggest thing that's so upsetting about this is when he was released, it was heartbreaking, man. I was so heartbroken. I was like, why do that? Why? Stupid idea. And then he finally comes back and everybody's so excited. It's not working out again. And it's just something's got to change.
I never thought I would say this. I heard this the last time he was released, and I have to truly agree with it now. Let him go to Impact. Yep. He would have the creative freedom. Impact does a lot of different things outside the box, and you get I personally get a good feel, even if I don't necessarily like where they're going, at least they are creative enough to let it run out and play out.
Yep.
So I would rather see him there and do his thing than be stuck. It's like he's drowning underwater.
Yeah, exactly. When he was released, that was him basically fully drowning, and he finally, he drowned. And his return, he was above water. He's really above water during the return, huge thing. And then after that, he slowly started sinking again. And now it just seems like he's almost fully underwater.
It looked like the shark McMahon has struck again.
Yeah.
And honestly, we don't know, because it may not have anything to do with Vince, but.
Oh, it may not. Like I said, he may just be sick right now, and all of a sudden he shows up on SmackDown this Friday, and there's the matches back on at WrestleMania, and that's that. But before we end this, last thing I really want to say is the way to save this, though, WrestleMania, if the match does happen, reveal who Uncle Howdy is. Not only will people finally be able to say, I was right or I was wrong or I can't believe he's back, it'll get people involved again because it's something new. And people, wrestling fans, we just want to say, I knew it. So if you finally just show Uncle Howdy, I feel like a lot of people forget how long the story has been drawn out and all the problems, and it'll almost restart for them because they're
exactly.
It'll be like, oh man, what does this mean now?
Exactly. Now I got to see where they're going to go for it.
Back on, yeah,
exactly.
And I feel like I feel like that's the only way to save it, actually. Just finally reveal it, because if it goes by with one more week of him popping up on the screen or him coming out, it's over. But we appreciate everybody tuning in for this one. Like I said, if you are watching this after WrestleMania, you knew what happens. We may be right, we may be wrong. We may be way off the ballpark. We may be perfectly straight line. But we appreciate you watching. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Comment what you want to see in the future. We do it all. Any promotion, any wrestler, any gimmick, any character, anything. We do it. So like, comment, subscribe, share with anybody you say, and we will see you next time.
I came from the UK. I can't and won't be stopped.
Come on, there you go. Get out there. Get out there. Get out!
And I will never give you a contract.
I tell you what, if you're gonna start off, you want to start off with one of the big guys. And to prove yourself, you want to knock them out.
This is the Wrestling Society Network.